Greetings of the day. I welcome you all to the third episode of FIC Charcha, a one stop destination for all your business, finance, and most of all, entertainment needs. This is a podcast series by Finance and Investment Cell, Aryabhat College, sponsored by Uniline Energy India and Delhi School of Communication. This is your host Arunima Marva, and I hope you all are safe and healthy. So, without any further ado, let me quickly introduce our speaker for this episode, Mr. Hariom Rai. Mr. Rai is the co founder, chairman, and managing director of Lava International Limited, a leading Indian multinational in the mobile handset industry with its presence in 13 countries. Mr. Rai is also the co-chairman of Government of India's Fast Track Task Force to catalyze and re-establish the mobile handsets manufacturing ecosystem in India. He is also the proud winner of the coveted Entrepreneur of the Year award at the 9th Asia Pacific Entrepreneurship Awards 2018 India. In this episode, he talks about his entrepreneurial journey of initially co-founding Pacitel Communications in partnership with BBK Telecommunication Company, now known as Vivo, and later co-founding Lava International Limited. He also talks about the struggles and challenges associated with his journey and the future plans of Lava. A lot more in this exclusive episode with Mr. Hariom Rai. And with all the enthusiasm, now I would like to introduce Aryan Jaiswal, Associate Member of Finance and Investment Cell, Aryabhat College, to start with this episode. So grab a snack and stay tuned.
Good morning, sir. Before we proceed with the session, I would like to know that how are you doing?
Hi. Yeah, I'm great. I'm doing great despite pandemic. I hope each one of you is fine. And if at
Yeah.
all, if it is there are some issues with you or your families, fear is not going to add any value. So don't worry about that. Just focused on helping people around you, and that's all. Nothing you can do, right?
Sir, from where are you taking this session in this pandemic?
From my home, from my house.
Oh, that's really nice. So I guess we should start the session.
Absolutely.
Sir, while I was researching about you, I came to know that you are an alumni of Delhi University and you have graduated from College of Vocational Studies. So would you like to share your college experience and some fun memories?
Okay, so in the college time, I did whatever one could do apart from studies. I was the president students union of my college, like some of you people here, and my focus was generally to do all those activities. But it was the most valuable time I spent, and it built the leadership potential and capability inside me. I won with the record margins of votes. I was also in the sports, a little bit, not much. But what I learned there is how to lead when people want to see you as a leader and not that people have to see you as a leader. Because in company, because the position we own is given by the company. Either you are an entrepreneur yourself or it doesn't matter. But in the college, when people are voting for you and they want to have you as a leader, I think that is what I've learned. And that leadership bug, which bit me in the college, actually, has shaped my entire journey from that time to whatever I am. I think a large part of that has been built during the college years.
Sir, it's really great to hear your opinion on what leadership exactly is. And I hope we all could learn from your inspiring story. Sir, another thing I had in mind, what motivates you to move to biotech, to logistics, to manufacturing mobile phones in India?
So, before this biogentech or biotech business, after doing my post graduation, I worked for a company for 4.5 months. And in 4.5 months itself, because it's a small company, it's a small studio in Delhi, I grew in terms of, I was hired at next salary. I was given more salary in the first month and also more in the next month. And, the MD got the shock of his life when I said after 4.5 months that I'm going to leave, because I was running the whole studio in 4.5 months after my college. What I thought at that time was very clear. I used to get about 5,000 rupees way back in 1992. And all my, my motorcycle, petrol, etc., etc. And, but, what I thought was that the kind of work I'm doing here, people, when they go in the, in the markets and this thing, and they, sometimes they drop their money. If I focus on that, I'll be able to collect this 5,000 rupees. So easily I left the job, without anything, and we were planning for doing something with our friends. But if you go to the core of what was there in my mind, was that I always wanted to do something bigger. This was my quest always. And so the passion to do something bigger and valuable. And second was that I was very self-confident man from the very beginning. Oh, no matter who you are, even in the front of the prime minister or whosoever during the college days, but I used to think, okay, I'm a better man or something like that. It was a stupid feeling. It was a wrong feeling actually, but it was there. So because of these two things, I would say it pushed me to do business. And the most important thing I would say at that time when I used to think about business, all the thoughts were centered around me and my family and nothing else. How can I ensure that I can feed the kitchen? I can feed the requirement of my family. I was not married at that time, but I was living with my parents. So how can I ensure that we live a better life? So that was the whole thought process. Motivation was not biogentech. Biogentech happened because there was a friend of mine who was into this industry, and we then three of us we started. We decided that let's do something entrepreneurial. So that's how we started the biogentech journey, and it was all by luck. But if I look back, I think everything was so systematically aligned that I can see, that probably I was destined to do what I'm doing right now. Yeah.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Sir, destiny does play an important role in our life. And definitely, the determination to achieve something bigger is valuable, paved your way to success. And, sir, everyone knows the success of Lava, but no one knows its struggle. What difficulties and challenges did you face in the journey of Lava Mobiles?
So let me, because Lava is still later part of my journey. Let me take you through the 3-4 businesses I have done prior to Lava.
Yes, sir.
This first business, as you know, was biogentech, and the quest to grow, as it was always there in my heart, in my mind, in my soul. It pushed me to grow beyond biogentech. And when I talked to my partners, they were quite fearful because we became number one in the country in the segment we were doing by 1995. And so we earned, at that time in 3 years, about 36 odd lakhs rupees in 1 year. In the last year, in 1 year we earned about this much money. And you were kids, you had too much money, at that time in 1994-5 time frame. 36 lakhs means crores of rupees now, right? So we said, okay, is so much money, let's grow and let's do something else. But my partners were not so much in favor. And that pushed me to go into further different areas. And I entered into the logistics business. Fortunately, in logistics business also, uh, you know, we became number one in the segment because we were operating from the one of the port in the northern India, I said Tughlakabad. We became number one in the segment, or sometime number two, number one. So that was our position. So there was our customer in logistics business, the MD of LG. He was very grateful, and he said, Hari, do you have money? I wanted to launch GSM mobile handsets in India for LG. Would you like to do that in India? And I asked a friend of mine, and he said, okay, it's a good opportunity. And because in 2003, I'm talking about 2003 time frame. So we started a company called Pastel. And before we could even initiate our beginning, the MD got transferred back to Korea. And the new MD who got the business, he did not have a method of distribution of having a all India distributor at one place. So he sort of went for localized distributors. So therefore, the business was not there before we could start, right? And then we had no option but to find out, what else could we do. I went to Korea, I went to Taiwan, I went to Japan, and also China, and we partnered with a company who were doing the fixed wireless terminals and fixed wireless phones. They are now known as Vivo. In fact, Vivo name was given by me to them. So you would know that it's a $50 billion company today, together in terms of BBK Group. And so we partnered with them in fixed wireless terminals and fixed wireless phones also. We became number one in the country. Lava is my latest and the last till now entrepreneurial journey. In 2009, we started Lava because fixed wireless terminal business was coming down. And, because it used to be given to PCOs of the country, and the call rate was so down and the phones rate was so down that the public calling offices were, going out. So I told Shenwei, who was the CEO of Vivo at that time, that let's start this mobile business. And he told me, Hari, I don't know how to do mobile. I'm just learning to build mobiles. And I'm selling the mobile phones in the rural China. How can I come to urban China? I'm just finding out ways how to come to urban China. How can I go international? So Lava was then born out of compulsion. There was a supply in China, demand in India. We just became rich. It started like that. And there was a compulsion because we built a large company, 100 crores of turnover at that time, 120 crores of turnover at that time in 2009. So we started with 300 odd companies in the country. And fortunately, in this business also, in Lava, we are amongst Indian companies, we are number one. So all my businesses, we've been very fortunate that we could become number one. But, we've faced a lot of challenges all through, and I will tell you about post-Lava later, but since you asked about challenges. In the journey, challenges are going to come. And, it's sort of important. If there is no challenge, which means we are doing ordinary things. If we are doing ordinary things, our life will be less challenging, I would say. So challenges are a part of life. How are you going to be willing to take those challenges? Or you would be sitting passive and the challenges will come to you? These are the questions. Because challenge is there in any life which exists actually in the universe. If it is a non-life, probably there is less of challenge. Table को, chair को कोई challenge नहीं है, but life को थोड़ा बहुत challenge है. अब वो challenge आपके पास आएगा या आप challenge के पास जाएंगे, वो differentiation create करता है. So थोड़ा what I did was I went towards challenge, because if the life is without challenges, I used to feel very awkward. And let me tell you, let me share one very important thing for you kids to understand, or you young people to understand, not kids, that, you know, the only way to become happy is when you excel, actually. And the only way to excel or become a better version of yourself is by passing through the challenge. There is no other way. And you can feel happiness only if there's some issue or sadness, because you can feel day because there's a night, right? If the only day is there, you will have no meaning of the day, right? So if life is stable, then you will never be happy. Only because there are issues in life, only because there are challenges, then only you feel happy. In the kids, I've seen younger kids have lesser challenges in their life, they become depressed because they don't have reason to be happy. Everything what they require sometime in some people's life, they already have. So they get depressed by some small things in your age, because I also have my kids. Maybe the girl is, is not happy with the boy, or the boy is not happy with the girl, and they become depressed because the challenge is not there. So they will go and take such challenges, such simple things, which is very natural, which is the lowest level of evolution, that I have not been able to meet the boy I want, or I have not been able to get the girl I wanted. It's such small thing people feel challenged because they don't have true challenges. So just go and grow yourself. These are the lowest level. Even animals have those challenges, of finding the girls and the boys, because this is very natural. But important is, because of challenges, the life is of thrill. If people don't get enough challenges in life, they go and jump out of the aeroplane to get those challenges and thrills. So therefore, in your work, if you are going to get those challenges in life, I think then only your life is going to be much more meaningful and much more enjoyable. So let me not talk about challenges, because these are part of life, right? कभी पैसा नहीं होगा, कभी काम मिलेगा, अभी काम खत्म हो जाएगा, वो एलजी के एमडी बोलेंगे साहब काम शुरू करना, वो छोड़ के चले जाएंगे, कंपनी शुरू हो गई, काम नहीं है. तो इशू वो नहीं है, how you are able to enter and how you are determined to pursue and persevere. I think this is the only thing which matters. And play one ball at a time, because ball is going to be thrown at you. You don't need to worry about this, that, whatever. That particular ball which is being thrown at you, just worry about that. Don't worry about winning or losing, and you will finally succeed at. That's what I found. The challenge is nothing but part of life.
Definitely, sir. So challenges are unavoidable, and we need to push our boundaries to add thrill and meaning to our life. Sir, what are the future plans of Lava? Is Lava planning to launch more phone this year?
So again, let me answer you differently, because these are, smaller level, I would say, quest of yours. The bigger question would be that we became number one, as I've told you, in doing Lava, and
Yes.
I'm very lucky to be, becoming number one in every single business in India we could do. But we became disrupted. We were almost destroyed in the year 2018. From 30,000 people in the company, we became less than 10,000 people company in 2018. And we were like badly rogered. We thought we are not going to exist. We will fail, we'll die. But so many people supported us because of the values with which the company was built. And I would say that, we still distinguished ourselves. And we became number one, right, in the country, but we were badly rogered. It made me introspect as to why it has happened. And when I introspected, I found two things. Number one, that I was not a good leader. This is the number one thing I found. In this country, the competition was never between good and great. The competition was between poor and worse. And amongst those, I was a poor guy, a poor leader. And because others are worse, we could easily win. And I used to think, oh my goodness, I'm a great leader because we could become number one in the country. And the situation is same everywhere. So the leaders are not leaders because they are great. The leaders are leaders because they have no competition in the country, right? Nowhere, no matter where you are, actually, in this country, because we are at that stage of evolution in our journey, just at the beginning stage of our evolution. But then when I asked this, so this is the first thing I required, that, the moment I had to face international competition, we were badly rogered. So it was my lack of leadership first to face the international competition. That realization was very, very huge and monumental for me. And it brought a lot of value and a lot of humility inside me. The second realization, what happened was that we are not fighting a battle between companies. We are fighting a battle between countries. Because internationally, the countries are rich only because they have rich companies. This is the only process to make a nation rich. You go and see any country. Let me give you some figures so that you understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying. Top 500 firms in the world, they create 38% of the global GDP, which is $30 trillion. Out of these top 500 firms, about 9 firms are in Taiwan, and these 9 firms create 66% of Taiwanese GDP. And 28 are in France, create 60% of French GDP, 32 in Germany, 50% of German GDP, 111 in China, 50% of Chinese GDP, 128 in US, 43% of US GDP. So the countries realized this fact, and they started building their companies through understanding this. And when I started meeting the government at that time, I realized that we have no clue. We have done big blunders and mistakes in the past, and we have no knowledge. It was then, at that time, when I realized that the government, even the politicians or the bureaucrats at the top level, they are very little exposed. It is not their fault, because as I've told you, the competition in India is between poor and worse. So therefore, even if you are at an average level of evolution, you're going to be leader, right? So it's not their fault at all. But those guys, like entrepreneurs who got exposed to the world, we have not taken the responsibility to bring change. So that I thought that why Lava was destroyed was probably to bring change in the country. And this is what I'm doing right now, because I have understood the possibilities of India. There's a great geopolitical context right now. Because China is consistently growing, a lot of countries are against them, including the US, etc., etc. And also China has been growing, so their per capita income has grown, because of which the manufacturing costs are very high now. So manufacturing and design activities are going to shift out of China. So this is a very, very large opportunity, my dear, for India, because India has everything what it takes to become the next global hub for manufacturing. And with this thought process, I started working with the government. I really deeply engaged myself with the government, because I realized that first the government evolves, then the government creates the ecosystem, and then the international companies gets created, right? So that is the process. Because we don't have large companies, we don't have good MSMEs. Because we don't have good MSMEs and the large companies, we don't have a great agriculture ecosystem also. So it's a weak way we have built our economy. And now I've worked with the government to make sure that they understand that what is the right way to build our economy. And as we are moving, we have taken a vision that India will be number 1 hub for mobile phones in the world by 2026. The Prime Minister has come up with this vision. There's a policy framework against this, which that we are going to produce from 339 million phones to about 1 billion phones. And for that, there's a PLI scheme, first ever of the kind has come, in which they now envisage to make Indian champion companies out of that. And therefore, What I believe is now with the government in our favor and we are at 17% of Chinese per capita income, the moment we are going to acquire skill and scale, we are going to be the most competitive in the world. And when we are going to be the most competitive in the world, what Lava can do, Lava can become a very large company, can become number one in the world in less than $200 segment of mobile phones eventually. So what I'm seeing at, not about a phone or something like that, what I'm seeing at, how can this company, a Lava can become a $50 billion company? So we are less than $1 billion now because we were $1.2 billion, 2-3 years ago. We are $800 million company today. How from here we can become a $50 billion company? That is the level I'm looking at. And that's the possibility I'm looking at. Despite being badly destroyed, I believe that there's a possibility. Riding on the strengths of India, of lower per capita, of poor, hungry, desirous people, the PhDs I call them, riding on the strength, giving them jobs, and moving the entire country from progression to wealth. Now, from the family, it's about the country now, in my mind. How can we create something very large? So that's the big picture I would like to say I have in my mind. And I'm trying to create that together with the government of India.
So it's really great that despite challenges the Lava faced, it manages to distinguish itself as a brand. And I like how you define leadership. So moving to my next question, where did the word Lava came from?
No, so Lava, for me, it was very simple. I just wanted to have a name which is first available and second easy. So that you don't need to spend a lot of money to make people know. Lava has the same meaning in everybody's eyes. So let me tell you, name has very little value. आपका नाम आर्यन ना होके कुछ और होता, क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Yes.
है ना? अरुणिमा का नाम अरुणिमा नहीं होता, कुछ और होता, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? आर्यन के अंदर क्या है? आर्यन का कैरेक्टर क्या है? वो है.
Yes.
वो core है. Name has very little meaning. So therefore I wanted, what meaning you give to the name is more important. So for my thought process, Lava was simple, easy, available. And therefore we went for it.
So the ideology you have while giving names to the company is really amazing. And so moving to the next round of the session, we have Uniline Power Question of the Week, which is asked by Utkarsh. And that is, what challenges did Lava face when it shifted its exposed manufacturing from China to India?
No, so challenges and opportunities goes hand in hand. So challenges we faced because we didn't know how to, manufacture in India as a country, even a country in our sector, because we were almost like very young in this business as a country. So we had to hire people who understand that. We had to bring knowledge from China to India, ensure that we are able to set up the right plants, set up the right, bring the right skills to India, ensure that despite we are bringing the manufacturing base to India, the customers should not suffer. Actually, opposite. Our failure ratio went down by 50% after we brought manufacturing to India. So challenges, actually, the word challenge itself, it never occurs to me. It is never in my mind. Because there is a challenge, therefore there is an opportunity. So challenge actually is a word, frankly speaking, and I'm not telling just for the sake of saying the same thing. It never occurs to me. It never. I can't see things like this. It's sort of my problem or my vision probably. Because challenge is an opportunity for you to be creative, to solve another problem. It's a puzzle life throws at you. And if you enjoy playing game, it's a game. Life is a game. If you enjoy playing a game, it's an opportunity for you to evolve a little bit more. So just be happy because you've got a challenge and solve that. Because then you're becoming you're more creative. Something, when it'll come to you. Because life, the purpose of life is only one, my dear. How you're going to evolve. No other purpose. And evolution cannot happen without challenge. And the moment you have challenge, you're going to evolve to the next level. And therefore, these are part of life.
Sir, I am really inspired by your perspective of challenge.
Great if you're inspired.
So moving to the next round, we have the DSC rapid fire round, in which you will be given 5 seconds to answer each question, and as the name suggests, you have to be very rapid. So your personal favorite Lava smartphone model.
So Pro 6.
So your first personal handset model.
First one, Nokia.
Which two mobile applications do you use the most?
So WhatsApp and maybe YouTube.
How do you start your day?
So get up, go for some exercise, do pranayam, and then work.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how supportive is Indian government towards startups?
The Indian government is supportive, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say maybe 5.
That's quite low. A book that inspired you?
Book that Built to Last by Jim Collins.
So one word for Indian mobile industry?
Amazing opportunity, 2 words.
So your newly launched BFIT?
Great. But
Second wave of COVID?
for us to 1 word, let's evolve.
So with this of this fun DSC rapid fire round, I can surely say that me as well as the whole audience can learn a lot from this session. So moving to the last round, we have the picture round, in which we'll be showing you a picture of your past, and you have to tell the story behind the picture you hold. So you have the first picture on your screen right now.
The story behind this picture.
Yes.
Yeah, so remember, it was a India Mobile Congress, and the minister and the secretary called me to be present in the Congress, and I love being there and sharing my thoughts.
So moving to the next picture.
Okay, so this was Voice and Data gave me this award of the mobile company of the year, as we could do well, amongst the poor ones. Probably we got this, but we have a long way to go. Yeah, so that the story is nothing, So, as I've told you, here the awards are, it's not because we are great, it's because competition is, very poor. So I feel that we don't deserve it, actually.
So with this, we can conclude the episode of FIC Charcha. And thank you so much, sir, for giving your time and sharing your insight views with the audience. Thank you, sir.
I hope you have enjoyed this episode of FIC Charcha with Mr. Hariom Rai. We will be serving you with more such entertaining content in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. For more updates, follow our Instagram page. Our next guest is an Indian economist and civil servant who was the Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commission of India. Yes, it's Mr. Montek Singh Aluwalia. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. This is your host, Arnava Marwa, signing off.
Unfortunately, too much of our politics depends on freebies, getting something free. And it's only people like yourselves who are at the cutting edge of education who can create an environment in which people realize that, when a state government gives something for free, what it really means is it doesn't invest in infrastructure. And the net result is you get less jobs.
Yes, sir. Sir, what would be the first thing you would do if you were the health minister right now?
totally revamp the vaccine strategy and lay out a very clear target. What is the targeted access to vaccines that I'm planning? You could have an optimistic target and a realistic target, and then complete transparency on having got these vaccines. How are they going to actually be distributed? I think that would be the single most important thing to do at the moment.